I'll give a very specific example. And for the first few days, they tell you to just eat and don't try to shape it too much. Eat, notate what you eat, and then see what happens with your glucose. And so the very first day, and I'm not proud to admit this, but it's the truth. The very first day, I had a hamburger and French fries together as one meal. And I was kind of thinking in the back of my head, yeah, this is fast food. This isn't good for me, but I'm going to eat my hamburger first. And because the little bit I already know about this stuff, if I have my protein first, it should help mitigate things. Well, I had the hamburger and the French fries, and then I scanned and I looked at the results, and my glucose blew up. It blew way past the high end of the healthy range and hit like 20 points beyond that. And it was a wake up call. It was an absolute wake up call. Um, to what was going on in my body was directly related to what I was putting into my body. And so the next night I decided to do an experiment. So they have you experimenting a lot with different foods and combinations of foods and what to eat with or before certain foods. So the next night, and this is going to make it sound like I'm this massive meat eater, which I'm not necessarily, but the next night we were going out to dinner with friends, and I ordered a steak and some French fries. The steak came with French fries. That was like your side option, and there was a vegetable in there as well. So I decided to, based on what I was learning, eat the meat first. So I had the entire steak first. Then I had my vegetables and some French fries. And when I, scanned and looked at the results, by doing it, so that second night, my glucose spiked less than half the amount as the first time. And I think the difference was I didn't have a bun on the steak, right? So like I had my protein first, but I also didn't have a bun the way I had a bun on the burger. And the difference, I stayed within the healthy range the second night. It went up. Anytime you eat, your glucose is most likely going to raise to some extent. But the point is to stop it from spiking so much and to keep it within a healthy range and to keep the variability, in a healthier way versus spiking up and then back down and up and then back down. So anyway, it was a very direct example of one meal one night versus another meal the next night. Both had pretty much the same constituents in terms of, but one didn't have the bun. And then the other thing that happened is, and this probably also contributed to not spiking as high, but because I ate my entire steak first before I had any of the French fries, I was also more full by the time I got to the French fries. And so organically, I just didn't eat as many. So I didn't eat as many French fries. So I guess there was some differences in the meal related to that, but that also was helpful information overall about a healthier way to approach a meal. Like if I eat the protein first, I'll have less of a desire to eat the carbs, and again keep my glucose in a healthier range. So that was just an interesting right out of the gates sort of experiment that happened. And